There we go. Good morning, kids. How is everybody today? It's Friday, everybody's favorite day of the week. As for me, the serial entrepreneur, Friday is just another day. My favorite day of the week is Monday, actually. But yeah, we're here today with Silbernagel. Did I
You
get
said
that
it.
right?
You just got to slow it down a little bit, man, and you can pronounce it. Yeah, it's spelled
Yeah,
out just how it sounds.
it's a great little tongue twister for you, you know.
Yeah,
So, Silbs, how you doing, buddy? Are you still down in Arizona?
I am not. I am in Cheyenne, Wyoming, the heart of the Wild West, the capital of the great state of Wyoming. There are, just like when I was in Montana, I used to like to joke there are more cows than people here. So, beautiful country, beautiful place. Transversely, when we were in Phoenix in that valley down there, there's about 5 million people down there, and moving back out this way, there are, last I checked, around 600,000-700,000 people in the entire state of Wyoming. So it's quite the transition, and each place has its own little culture, and yeah, we just appreciate it for the people, for that nice old west kind of cowboy feel, and yeah, we like it. We like it.
Yeah, I noticed that you guys have horses. You guys still have horses up there?
Yep. We have a couple out here. We have a little 10-acre spread out east of Cheyenne a little bit. And matter of fact, over this weekend, we came here for a business. We bought this sign business here in town called Color Burst Signs. Little shameless plug there, but yeah, we do all kinds of stuff. It's the business of helping other businesses. So that's the innate thing that human beings want to do, is help one another. And so that's what we're doing. We bought this sign business, and our lease is up at the end of February here. So we're moving the business out here. We have a nice, big, beautiful shop with 2 huge doors where we could pull semis in to put vinyl decals on and what have you, a nice big office space. So we're really excited. My beautiful fiance, Alexis, her older brother, and her nephew are coming out to help us move some stuff this weekend. So we're really looking forward to it.
No, that's awesome. I've got a good friend that has been in the sign business for, 25 years. He's made a really good living with making signs. He operates out of Salt Lake City. He's a really good friend of mine. It's kind of nice having a friend in the sign business, because anytime I need some lettering done or anything like that, he just does it for me, and he won't even take a dime for anything. And so it's pretty cool. But I help him out with carpet work and things like that if necessary.
Exactly.
And, try to pay him back one way or another.
Yeah.
And
Reciprocation.
yeah, it's got to be good for helping out your Kangen water business too, being able to make yourself signs and things like that, and get some exposure. Do you do anything with it when it comes to your Kangen water business?
We have some banners and what have you, and we're ideally, once we get everything super flowing, we like that ideology of what one of my mentors calls M3, which means multiple income streams, and that whole concept of providing service while you're sleeping, and transversely earning money while you're sleeping, and as we know, money is circulation. Just like blood is circulation in your body, money is economic circulation, and if you want to prosper, you got to have that circulating in your life.
Yeah, it's like that, like the old saying that Warren Buffett's famous for, where he said, if you don't figure out how to make money while you sleep, you'll work until you die.
Exactly.
And so, it's pretty neat being part of a company like this, that because the company that you've got, the sign business, that's something that people need. It's something that's always coming. It's a kind of a residual business, because people tend to need that kind of product, right? And
absolutely,
and we've got with Kangen water, we've got a product that literally every single person in the world needs. It's crazy having something like that. We got like the 3 things that are the ultimate when it comes to a company. We got a product that everybody needs. We got a product that hardly anybody has, and we've got a product that doesn't have any competition at all in the world. Nothing.
That's a beautiful trifecta right there.
And we all know that there's plenty of people out there who say, oh yeah, we're just as good as Kong. Yeah, half the price. Blah. You know, they're garbage, man. All of their machines are complete garbage. And it's kind of interesting because I'm working with an internet company trying to build my brand out there, my Kong's Water brand, and get higher up on the search engines and that. And I'm like, now I'm listed on all like 60 some odd search engines that there are out there. And it's interesting because you're trying to get the word out there and that kind of thing. And we were in a meeting yesterday, and I said, go to Google and punch in Kangen water. And he punched in Kangen water, and like the first 5 things there don't even have anything to do with Kangen water. Nothing.
Yeah, I've noticed that before when I've done a search.
Yeah, and it's what we call what Jerry Kostica refers to as the leeches.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They leech off of us. They use our name. They pay big money to be up on top of Google searches. Whenever anybody searches for Kangen water, they get Life Ionizers, Tyent, and all these other companies that don't even have anything to do with Enagic, don't have anything to do with Kangen water, but yet they're using our name, and they're pretty deceptive. It's pretty funny, really, some of the things that they have to say. And so definitely an interesting little conundrum out there. But the cool part is that if somebody's willing to take the time and do the research and do the looking and peel back the layers of the onion, they'll see that there's no comparison whatsoever between our product and their products. And it's cool. I love having something that literally, because most everything out there that's out there in the world today, like so many of the network marketing companies, they sell nutritional products and that kind of thing. Well, you just look at how many nutritional companies there are out there. There's literally thousands of them. You go to the grocery store, there's a whole giant aisle of garbage nutritional products. But everybody's trying to take advantage of that industry. But the point is that there's just a ton of competition. And
yeah, well, that brings to mind a few things. Focusing on what you want is imperative, and I'm a firm believer. My mentor Bob Proctor says that amateurs compete and professionals create, and I stick with that ideology. And I these competitors per se are of none of my concern. What I know that on my countertop, I have the best water machine that money can buy, period. And I'm a testament to it. I feel healthier at 43 than I felt at 23. The fact of the matter is we are 75 to 80% water as human beings. And why would you not want to drink the absolute best water money can buy? And, people get caught up in, is it, what kind of medical properties, and they get all caught up in this whole medical aspect of things. And it's not about that. It's about providing your body with the best water, and therefore the best environment possible, physical environment. And if your body's in a great way and it's operating at its highest level and best function, then it's going to heal itself. And that, and that's what I try to explain to people is it's this water gives your body the environment where it does its best work. It heals itself. When you cut your finger, the doctor doesn't heal your wound. You heal your wound yourself. And our bodies are self-healing, and nobody knows their body better than themselves. So if you're relying on outside entities to provide anything for you, if you are looking at outside entities to provide your happiness, you're just going to be going backwards. So, we're self-sufficient. We're in charge of our own happiness. We're in charge of our own health. And, a lot of individuals out there are looking for outside entities to help them, but there's no better help than your own self and your own mind and your own body. And it's absolutely beautiful. I feel incredibly blessed to have had to be introduced to Kangen water, you know, I probably was introduced to it upwards of, I'd say 12 or more years ago, maybe even 15 years. I don't even know. But my good buddy, Sean Wetzel, he kept it in front of me. I mean, when I lived in Billings, Montana, when we both lived in Billings, Montana, you would drive down, I believe it's 19th Street, and there's this little curvy road. And every time I drive by his house, I'd see that up there, free water. He had a big wood sign up on his doorstep that said free water. And when I would run into him, he'd be like, you know, you need this water, you need this water. I mean, you know, and I was probably 40, 50 pounds heavier than I am right now. And, you know, he knew I needed it. I probably knew I needed it, but you know, when you are around a lot of lack, in your life, if you are experiencing a lot of poverty and so on and so forth, there's a certain mental, ideology that you think, and you think that other people who are more prosperous, they have something that you don't, or something like that. And so of course my biggest hurdle was the cost, you know, and there, as you and I both know, there are countless resolves to, you know, everybody can afford a machine. And when you look, you know, when I see you and Sam Tran, Sean, you know, sharing, you know, these photos of these people in these third world countries who are living in absolute squalor, like poverty on a level that probably nobody in America is experiencing right now, but somehow some random faucet in some room is hooked up to the beautiful technology that is Kangen water, man. And that's very inspiring to me. So what that tells me and what that tells the world is that it's affordable to anybody who wants to be healthy and who wants to be beautifully hydrated. And you know, I mean, that the drinking water is just the tip of the iceberg. And you know, it's just, there's just evidence upon evidence. And the thing is it's all about belief. You know, I was kind of reflecting and thinking about what type of points I was going to make today in this live that we're doing. And it's all about belief. And when you see people on these Kangen water groups who are talking about, I sold this individual a machine, and they give whatever example of buyer's remorse. And that's exactly what it is. Someone will get a machine, and then they'll be like, the fact of the matter is they don't believe in it. And so then they start making excuses as to why, oh, this machine isn't for me, I want to take it back, you know, all this kind of stuff. And belief is everything. It doesn't matter what you're facing. If you don't believe in it, it's not going to benefit you. It's not going to serve you. So
yeah, that's a dang good point, bro, because you know, people need to understand what it is they have in their hands. And you know, it's just like for me, when I first got involved with this, I bought the machine because I wanted it for my health, and I didn't care about the business. And it wasn't until like over 2 years in that I actually learned how the compensation plan works. And as it turns out, that was a huge mistake. It cost me a lot of money, like around $60,000 is what it ended up costing me, because I wasn't interested in the compensation plan. I wasn't interested in the business. And so I squandered away a bunch of money on other really stupid things that were basically just empty promises and lies. And because I was trying to do the whole M3 thing, like you were talking about, trying to get multiple streams of income in my life. And had I looked closer at this, I would have realized that, heck, here's 9 different streams of income opportunity for me right here with this one debt-free, solid, worldwide company, you know. And I didn't know. But now that I do know, it's something that I have tremendous belief in, and I try to encourage people to learn what I didn't, you know, because you know how it is. People get in this and they're like, I'm not interested in the business, I'm not a salesman, blah, 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 you know. And it's like, hey, no problem, but do yourself a favor. Learn what it is you're saying no to. You know, learn what it is that you're not interested in, because when you learn what it is, you might very well be interested, and you might find out that you don't even need to be a salesman. Kong does the selling for you if you just get her out there, you know. Like my wife says, Kong isn't a boy, Kong's a girl. Well, why do you say that? And she says, well, just listen to that voice in the machine. That's a girl's voice. That's not a boy's voice. I go, fair enough. Kong's girl.
There you go. Yeah. You know, whatever your perspective is, whatever, you know, makes you function, and yeah, it's such a beautiful technology. And, you know, a lot of anybody largely successful that I've come across, you know, successful at whatever capacity, it seems like a common theme that they talk about how, I wish I would have done this, you know, I wish I would have known then what I know now. But the beauty of it is, as long as we keep getting gifted with another day, that has you know, that's an opportunity to gain more knowledge and to utilize the knowledge that we presently have to absolutely springboard us into high levels of success, at whatever capacity that you know, we define that as.
Yeah, that is the absolute truth, brother. I mean, just the ability to be able to get up in the morning is a blessing and a gift. And as long as, you know, that can oftentimes be the starting and turning point of somebody being able to turn their life around, just by being grateful for the fact that they get to breathe, that they got a roof over their head, they got a bed to sleep in, you know, even though maybe things aren't going so well right now for whatever reason. Just the fact that you have another day. You know, so many people spend their days wallowing in yesterday and worrying about tomorrow instead of focusing on what's going on today, because, you know, yesterday's gone and tomorrow's not even guaranteed. So why the heck are you worrying about something that's gone and something that isn't even guaranteed to be here?
Yeah. Well said. Yeah, you know, and it's really interesting. Like, people wear it like a badge of honor when they're talking about how great their job is and how great their benefits are. And I have these great benefits and I have this great health insurance and all this kind of stuff. And what that's telling me is that they're anticipating getting sick, you know, and they're thinking about the worst. And the thing is, whatever you're thinking about is going to come to be. If you're thinking health, wealth, prosperity, then you're going to have those things. You're going to have good health. You're going to have wealth, and you're going to be prosperous. And as long as we keep getting gifted with days, you know, why are you so concerned with your 401k? Why are you so concerned with this health plan? I mean, there's just not enough, you know, belief in prosperity and autonomy, and you know, we're in control of our own destiny. You can, if you believe in yourself, you could write your own ticket. You don't have to depend on a company that you go punch a clock for every day because they offer this, I have good quality healthcare insurance and all this kind of stuff. And it's like beating your head off the wall. You know, I mean, that's, you know, and then the same thing, you know, 401k, I'm looking at, I'm in my 40s now, and I'm anticipating what's going to happen when I'm 65. What about today, man? What about right now? You know, I mean, the thing is when we leave this physical earth, everything that you quote unquote own right now, including your car, including your house, including your land, right? The land's going to always be here, and we are going to turn into dust inside of that land eventually. And so nobody ultimately owns any kind of land. It's the person who's occupying it. It's the person who's controlling what's going on that particular piece of property. And you know, if you're fencing up your money and so on and so forth, and you have an untimely death, then instantaneously, it's like, you know, I heard it described as some jokers in a deck of cards. Those are the jokers in the deck of cards. You have this giant bank account when you die, and then all of a sudden it's just instantaneously some relative or friend who takes the ropes, you know. And it's just crazy how people just jump into group mentality, and I'm just going to go with the flow, and this is what the masses do, so this is what I'm going to do. And those are the, you know, that's 95% of the population, unfortunately. They don't think. And they talk about how, you know, Earl Nightingale, another great mentor, he talks about 2% of people actually think, 3% think they think, and 95% would rather die than think. And that is it's some incredible stuff, man. It's powerful, man. And I'm just happy that I have the ability to think, and, you know, I tore away the cobwebs of the brain, you know. What happened here?
Oh, just Rodgar came in the house. And
oh, okay.
He wasn't muted yet, so he made a noise, and that's what happens. Whoever's making noise, they're the ones that come up on the screen, because I do the speaker view when I'm doing these interviews, because I want the speaker to be the person that's big and bold.
I see.
And you know, it's interesting. I've seen some people do interviews where they're interviewing somebody and they have themselves as the big picture, and then they have the person that they're interviewing as a little teeny tiny picture. And I'm just like, no, you're the guest. You're the one that people need to hear about. They hear about me every day. You know, that's my camera, and they get enough of me, you know, so I want my guests to be front and center, you know.
That's some great perspective, man, because, you know, like they say, everybody, you know, they love to talk about themselves, and whether you know, everybody wants to feel important, and, you know, that's you know, from your experience, that shows some humility, and I definitely appreciate that perspective of things, and it's all about perspective, man. I mean, what are thoughts become things? If you're thinking good thoughts, you're thinking prosperity, you're thinking good health. I mean, that's what everybody wants. They want money freedom, they want time freedom, and they want a healthy mind and body to enjoy time and money freedom. I mean, and that's not too much to ask. I mean, we are the highest form of creation, as they say, and we have all these incredible higher faculties that are exclusive to us as far as we know, and you know, if you're not focusing on that, if you're operating with just your conscious mind and just operating off the five senses, you know, how much higher level are you than a dog or a horse or a pig or something like that? Because those guys operate off their instincts. They operate off of you know, they adapt to their environment. Well, we as human beings, we can create our own environment, and, you know, all these beautiful things, you know, these universal laws, and the fact that you know, this what is it? Is his name Kiyosaki? The founder of Kangen.
Yeah, Mr. Oshiro.
Oshiro, I apologize. Sorry about that, Mr. Oshiro. But man, what an incredible dude. You know, I mean, he's just you know, he obviously understands these universal laws at a high level, and you know, having the ability to develop this technology, this 40-some-year-old technology at this point, it's just awe-inspiring. You know, it's just like anything else from the clothes on your back to the roof over your head to the bed you sleep in. I mean, that was all already here, and it took somebody's beautiful mind and imagination to create all these incredible things, and this machine that we drink from every day. It's such a gift, and like I said, you know, there's a reason why this was brought into my life, brought into Alexis's life, and it's everything to us, you know, and we are, you know, really focused on our studies and the practice of focusing on what we want, and you know, what we want is health, and we are healthy, and you hear about these people, you know, in and out of the doctor's office all winter long with, I have this bug and that bug and this bug. Well, you know what? Spend a couple grand and drink a bunch of water. You know, hardly anybody drinks a fraction of the water that they should. And, you know, I've always been a pretty decent water drinker, but ever since I've you know, had, you know, first we had the SD 501 Platinum, and now we have the K8, and I mean, that beautiful technology is sitting there. I'm thinking about it all the time. And, you know, the second you deprive yourself a little bit of the water, if you're not drinking at least a gallon plus a day, for me personally, if I'm not drinking at least a gallon plus a day, I can feel it. I can feel it in my joints instantaneously. You know, I mean, you get used to having that nice, beautiful environment, alkaline environment in your body. And if that gets off a little bit, you know, we've been in situations where we've, not been able to drink the water for a couple of days at a time. And it feels like you're just, lost and you can barely move, it's crazy.
Hey, Silbs, you got to meet my better 99%. This is my wife, Tina.
Hi, Tina. Nice to meet you.
Silbernagel. Me too.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, we're having a great conversation here. It's JJ Surprise talks about you a lot in his interactions on social media. So it's always good to know the better 99%. Mine's running around here somewhere as well.
This is the wives.
Exactly. I've always wondered about that, the wives, especially considering where you're located in the country.
Yeah, exactly. See you, honey. Have a great day.
So,
yeah, it's kind of funny because I've actually had people threaten to turn me into the authorities. And, when I say my wives, they're like, what do you mean you got wives? And I've actually had people get mad at me and say they're going to turn me in for being a polygamist and that kind of thing. And I'm like, yeah, do it. Good idea. Yeah, they can come over and meet them. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But it is funny because she's they say that Geminis have a split personality, and the truth of the matter is that she's a Gemini, and she indeed has a split personality. And it's
I'm one myself. When's her birthday?
She's the 22nd of May.
I'm May 25th.
Oh wow, yeah. So,
yeah,
I know for her, like a little bit of tequila brings out that alter ego of hers, and she turns from Tina to Xena, warrior princess. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
But it's kind of fun, it keeps our relationship exciting, and we've been together now for 30 years.
Wow, good for you folks.
It's 30 wonderful years, and
yeah, you guys are as in love as you ever were, and probably more so. And that's the thing, people talk about as far as longevity is concerned with relationships, couples, what have you. They're like, well, we're just used to each other, and they make it humorous when they bicker back and forth. And between Alexis and I, we've come to the realization, if you keep growing and you keep studying and you keep learning about yourselves and each other, I mean, the reality is we're meant to fall in love a little bit more every single day. And I believe that in my heart. I've fallen more in love with Alexis every single day. I find something else within her that's just inspiring and just magical all the time. And yeah, as per our conversation and this Gemini aspect of things, and I have experienced that my entire life, that whole the twins type of deal. And what's crazy is since I've been really studying human potential and success, and really learning about myself, all of that negative, that split personality type deal with as far as negativity is concerned, it hasn't been a conscious thing at all. It's like negative aspects about myself, habits that I had that I didn't want to have, they just kind of diminish. It's like the more I learn about myself, those things just fall away, and it's absolutely incredible, man. And we were just talking about that last night when we were enjoying a nice soak in the hot tub after a long day at work. It was just man, it's a beautiful thing. You don't have to sit there and focus on weight loss or quitting smoking or quitting drinking or quitting eating too many bad foods, all that kind of stuff. That's focusing on those five senses. And if you just change your habits consciously, they're going to come back. When you lose 5 pounds, you're going to find 7 of them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's just it's changing how you think and studying yourself. Why go to any school in the world, go to Yale or Princeton or Harvard, and they don't teach you about yourself. They don't teach you how to think about yourself and study yourself. It's all this conscious intellectual type of stuff. But the thing that makes you act and the thing that makes you function in this world is your subconscious. That's your emotional self. And that's how that's what inspires you to do what you do. And we are incredibly emotionally attached to our Kangen machine, and we'll never go without it. And as long as I keep waking up, I'm going to keep chugging that beautiful water. And that's the thing. Alexis likes to be constantly sipping hers, but I'll go walk up to the machine and you know, in reference to that awesome video, Dr. Barry several years back at this point, I pour 16, 20 ounce glass and just boom, hammer down, baby. And I'll do 2 or 3 of them at a time. And you just feel the energy just bubbling out of you, man. And it's magical. It's everything, you know. We're made out of it. We might as well be drinking the best there is. That's about all I have to say about that. So
yeah, you know, it's such an interesting little concept. You know, I call water life's great conundrum, because it you know, on one hand we have to have it. We can go like 5 days, 4 days or so without it, and if we're not dead, we're wishing to God we were dead. We're praying to God that we were dead. And on the other hand, it's killing us, because it's acid. They call it the universal solvent for a reason. And, you know, the cool thing about it that most people don't understand, that once they come to the understanding of this, then it becomes much easier for them to fathom the idea of like, wow, I really do need this. And that is that the water that comes out of this machine is not H2O. It's H2 negative OH for about 48 hours or so. After that, it just turns back into regular old, plain old acidic H2O again. And that's why it's so dang important for us to have the machine. That's why it's so important to drink it. I always encourage everybody to, just like Dr. Rob, drink it right out of the, I love that part where he goes, you should just puts his mouth up to the hose and says, this is what you should be doing, you know.
That concept of, you know, what's better for you, going and getting a apple out of the grocery store or plucking that sucker right off the tree. That's where all the energy is. You bite into that apple right off the tree. That's the same concept as the water. And I love that analogy. It's you know, the minute it gets plucked from the source, it begins dying right away. And you know, you might as well drink it, eat it, whatever, while it's full of life. You know, the longer it sits around unhooked from its source of life, the less benefit you're going to get from it. So
yeah, amen.
Yeah, rock and roll it. Don't be carrying it around all day and wearing it like a Gucci bag. Drink that sucker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know, that's exactly the key, buddy. I always encourage everybody that gets a machine to drink it right out of the machine. I tell them, hey, if you're at home, drink all your water right out of the machine. Don't be filling up a glass like I did and have it, you know, sitting there sipping on it, because every time you take a sip, you're depleting the value of that water. Every time air is given to it, you know, what you really want to do when you're at home is you want to just be, every time you pee, go guzzle down another 16 ounces or another 20 ounces or whatever you can drink all at once, and, you know, roll that way. But obviously when you have to go to work or you have to go wherever you go, then yeah, you take your bag or you take your bottle or you take your jug and you slurp away at it there. But when you're at home and you have the ability to drink it fresh. And, you know, and so one of the things you were talking about a little earlier is the person that gets one of these machines and they end up with their buyer's remorse. And, you know, one of the things that I'm really trying to focus on now with these shows in adding another line of questioning to the guests is one of the things I think is important for people to remember is that this machine is way more than just drinking water. The drinking water is obviously the most important component of what this is about, because of the fact that we're so much water. We need water for everything, and so on and so forth. Every reaction that takes place in our body requires water. But there's also so many other things that add value to this machine, like for the fact that my wife and we haven't bought laundry detergent in 3 years now. We'll never buy laundry detergent ever again. We'll never buy fabric softener. We'll never have to buy fabric softener sheets. We'll never have to, you know, there's so many different chemicals that we don't need in our life anymore. And so one of the things I'm trying to do is help people understand that there's more to this than just drinking water. It's more important than that. And so I'm always curious to hear what the guests have to say about, sure, you're drinking the water, but what else do you do with it? Like, you got horses. Do you give this water to your horses?
Are you a mind reader, JJ? So we have this little paint named Hokey that we've had since he was a baby, and we went and picked him out, him and his mom, up in Washington State. Must be coming up on 3 or 4 years ago now, and he is our pride and joy. We love this guy. He's a really special horse, and Alexis has been a expert horsewoman for her whole life. She's been around on the back of a horse since she was 2 years old, and his demeanor and all this type of stuff was odd for a colt and stuff like that. He was real mellow and laid back, and he's just been so malleable and so trainable, and he just has this spirit about him. He's just such an incredible horse, and he's sitting out here a couple 100 feet away. Lex just went out and fed him and his partner out there, Bill Withers, we call him. Anyway, Hokey, we've had him, his name is Hokshichela, which means baby boy in my Lakota language. So we call him Hokey for short. And anyway, a few weeks back, we have a couple, like 4 different pastures out here that they can go and roam around in, and we'll go turn them out to one of them, and they'll go mess around and stuff, before we ultimately put them back in their stalls and what have you. But our neighbor called us while we were out, doing business about town, and said, Hokey's got this big cut by his eye, she noticed. And we're like, oh man, horses, they're mischievous and all that kind of stuff. So we get back to the house, and it's a pretty substantial cut. He had a cut on I believe it's his left eye, and he had this flap of skin hanging down, and we're like, holy smokes. And Alexis, his sister, lives about a couple hours north of here in western Nebraska, and we're going to consult her. She's a veterinarian, and to see if we needed to stitch it up or what was going on, and it was concerned. The weather was real cold, and we were concerned about it, and we're like, well, what do we need to do? What we need to do is get some 2,5 on there. And that's what we did. We got some 2,5 on there. We put it in syringes. We also are big proponents of essential oils. So we used some Melaleuca, put that on there, really soaked it out with some 2,5, and by the next morning, you could he had pus coming out of it, every dang thing. The next morning, it was starting to heal up. And I think that was the only dose. We might have put another little bit. Yeah, we took some on a spray bottle and sprayed it a couple different times. But dude, it was healed within a day or two, and it looks like it's brand new now, right, Lex? Yeah, that's just one example, and I see you guys with these diabetic guys with holes in their heels and all this kind of crazy stuff. How much more proof in the pudding does there have to be? It's physical reality. The body is healing itself, but why not have some assistance from a high quality, it's just water. It's just water. Put some on it. We had a relative who has a machine, and she had some cancerous skin removed from her, and she has a machine, but she's putting, these antibiotic ointments and stuff on it. And, we suggest to her, well, why don't you put some 2,5 on there? Oh, I'm not ready to do that yet. You want to put this stuff that's made in a lab, it's not even, it's completely, made from synthetic materials largely. You're willing to put that on there because a doctor told you to put that on there, but you're not willing to spray a little 2,5 on there and see what happens. You have it right there on your countertop. It's crazy, man. Our minds there's no more powerful entity in this entire world than the human mind. And whatever it's going to believe, it's going to believe. And it's up to you to determine, what you believe consciously and subconsciously. It's, and the more you focus on that instead of all this topical stuff that's going on in our world, all this stuff that everybody just like looking to get upset, looking to get offended, all this kind of stuff. Find some happiness within yourself. And as cliche as it sounds, happiness comes from within. There's no other explanation. you are in charge of your own happiness. That you're not, it's not a, I talked about it yesterday in my live that I do almost daily. Don't be an extra in your own movie. You're letting other people be stars of your own movie. You're a 30, 40-year-old man wearing your favorite football player or basketball player's jersey. Well, that's just telling me right off the bat that that individual is a star of your movie. They're doing something that you don't believe that you can do. You know what I'm saying? And people, if you want to be an extra in your own movie, that's what the majority of people do. But if you want to be the star, you got to believe in yourself, and belief is absolutely everything, man.
I love that. Be the star of your own movie. That's a great, I love that, man. That's the thing, Silbs, is that for me, this thing, there's something that Daniel DiMicali said that I just thought was so profound. He said, Enagic and Kangen Water is a personal development plan with a compensation plan attached. And
beautifully
it's like,
said.
The motto of this company is change your water, change your life. It's not change your water, change your job or your shoes or your house or your car or your bank account or anything like that. It's change your life, because it literally is such a life-changing thing. If people get this machine and they focus in on it, it comes with, like, this company doesn't just come with a machine that you buy. It comes with all the incredible people along with it. People like yourself, people like Wetzel, people like Sam Tran and Dan Edlund and Roger Sawaski and just all these great people that are involved with this company that just change your life. They say that if you want to change your life, you got to change the people you hang around. And I just have never seen such an incredible, gracious group of people in my life. It's amazing how we all help each other, how everybody's willing to help cross lines and, what we call helping across pay lines. Because even though you're not getting paid, you're still willing to do a three-way call with somebody. You're still willing to give people advice. You're still willing to reach out and help and teach and love and all of that. And it's so incredibly powerful, man. It really is. And I have just learned so much from being involved with this company. And, I had no idea what I was getting into when I got this machine. I had no idea how powerful it really was. And I'm just so grateful that it is what it is, man. I mean,
yeah, man. It's givers get. Givers get. I heard that a long time ago, and my upbringing didn't, like I said, it's I come from pretty humble beginnings, but just to really understand that givers get, it's whatever it is, whatever good, whatever you're letting flow in and out of your life, and oftentimes people reference finances. The more you're willing to give, the more you're going to receive. It's as simple as that. That's how the universe works. It flows in, it flows out. The energy flows in. Whatever it is that you're using. You gave the example of your buddy who owns a sign business, and you guys reciprocate each other. You hook him up with some flooring. He hooks you up with some signage, and it's just I think about all the people who are super, super high achievers, the inventors, the Warren Buffetts, the Bill Gates, the Steve Jobs, all these people who have invented and created all these beautiful things, man. If you do a little bit of research about them, they are incredibly huge philanthropists. And then, right away, people are, the more successful somebody gets, it seems like the masses are naysaying them. And the thing is everybody wants more money circulating in their life. I don't care who the hell you are. You want more circulating in your life. So if you truly want more money circulating in your life, if you're spending your time naysaying somebody who's succeeding at a high level, that's just going to bring that back to you. Whatever you're thinking towards somebody, whatever you're saying about somebody, if you're saying, oh, well, the only reason why they're successful is this and all this kind of stuff, and you should be lauding them. You should be thinking highly of them. And when somebody is earning a ton of money, then you should be like, man, that is incredible. Because if you are thinking that about that person, that's what's going to come back to you. And it's easier said than done because there's just so much societal norms associated with what I was just saying. You know, people saying, oh, naysaying these people, or well, he's not that great of a guy, you know, da 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 da. No, they earned what they earned. I mean, years ago, I probably would have thought Bezos was a crook or whatever, you know, and stuff like that. But dude, that guy is doing incredible things, and you even see straight up they have their own delivery company now. That Amazon is a absolute giant, and it's very inspiring. That's a human being just like you and I are human beings, and he's providing an incredible service to the world, and you know, he's constantly thinking about it and constantly developing, and he's not handing the packages off himself. He created this beautiful system, you know, algorithms, all this kind of stuff, and we all have that inside of us, and it's all about desire, it's all about belief, and you know, we are all in control of our own destiny. And if you're thinking good thoughts, good things are going to happen to you. If you are well-wishing every single person, you know, if whatever you're wishing upon somebody, you got to think about, because whatever you're wishing upon somebody, you're wishing upon yourself. That's as simple as that. The minute, whatever kind of energy you send out, if it's negative energy, it's coming back to you before it's even fully out there. And same thing with beautiful, positive energy and encouraging energy, and that, you know, thinking those good thoughts, and all, that comes back to you the second you start putting it out. And I can testify to it. I could go on for an hour or two telling you how much my life is improving on a day-to-day basis, just from learning about myself and thinking this way, and understanding how all of us human beings are so way more alike. Everybody wants to be unique and be an individual, but we are all related, and they you know, in my Lakota way, we have a phrase that says, I want to share a couple phrases with you, and I got to get going pretty quick, but the Lakota phrase that they don't have in the English language really is Nidakuye Owansi, and that means everything. All creation is related. We are all related. All of the people, all the animals, everything. This countertop that this computer is sitting on, this chair I'm sitting on, everything is energy. Everything is in constant flow. We're in an ocean of motion, and we are all related. That's what that means. My ancestors had that figured out hundreds and hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago. And so that I love being a part of that. And then also, you know, when the big pipeline protests were happening on my reservation up in North and South Dakota, the protest at Standing Rock, the big phrase for that, you know, they were running that pipeline underneath the river there, and the big phrase, the big movement was Ni Wichoni, water is life. Ni Wichoni. That's what that phrase means. So, you know, between those two phrases, man, that's kind of been a foundation of my life right now, and I'm excited to see, as long as I keep being provided with gifts, AKA days to live. That's what my focus is on. My focus is on good.
Yeah, brother, I love that. I love this conversation this morning, because this is really such an important subject, really, because people just don't grasp it. Like you were talking about earlier, they're more concerned about what other people think and what the Joneses are doing and that kind of thing, versus looking at into their own self, looking in the mirror, you know. And I always tell people, if you've got problems, look in the mirror, because that's where you're going to find the solutions, is in the mirror. And you're not going to find them in any outside source. And, you know, the thing about all of that is that I didn't really practice any of this stuff beforehand, before I got involved with the Magic. And that's why I'm so convinced that it is a personal development program, because by getting involved with this, you get a lot of people that are just positive minded, and always, you know, you're just always getting all this positive reinforcement. It's extremely rare to find an Enagic distributor who has negative things to say about anything or anybody. And so it's really powerful. And, you know, there's one thing I'm wondering if you wouldn't mind expanding just a little bit more on, and this is, there's kind of a selfish reason for this, sort of. I got a really dear friend who is a big time horse trainer. He's all about horses. cares more about his horses than he does himself. And you know, I'd love it if you, because I was gonna make sure that he gets this episode and gets a chance to listen to you, because I think that the two of you guys will resonate together really well, and maybe you might be the one that turns him around and gets him interested in getting this for his horses. What is it, you know, other than like being able to spray your one horse, Pokey's horse, and help his eye get better and that, do you, what other kind of, I mean, what would you say to somebody that, like my friend Todd, who is a horse trainer? Would you kind of say to him that, hey man, you know, you really should get this, if not for yourself, for your horses? Is that something that you would say to somebody like that?
Oh, 100%, of course. Yes. You know, we need to, Alexis and I need to focus more on getting it more to them for drinking. But yeah, I mean, there are studies upon studies about people who fractionate it, you know, mix their regular drinking water, throw some 9.5 in there, into the tank, to the stock tank, to the horse tank, to what have you, and the health benefits that it provides to the livestock. It's absolutely incredible. There are case study after case study. It's, you know, and like I said earlier, the proof's in the pudding, man. You know, you see the healing happen. You see the people who are always full of energy, and we are all energy. We are all full of energy, and it just provides clarity, and the water is beautiful, and it's absolutely everything. And if you love your horses more than you love yourself, then you should be feeding your horses the best water that is out there on the planet. I mean, it's a no-brainer. You know, if your horses are experiencing any kind of ill health at any capacity, try some water, man. Instead of running to the vet and getting some antibiotics and all this kind of stuff, that all these medicines, you know, I mean, people are treating they think they're treating their horses like they're treating themselves. They want to run to the doctor right away. And the beauty of it is, I believe in it so much, so wholeheartedly. And your buddy who's the horse enthusiast, I mean, give it a try. I don't know how close he lives to you, but get him some 5-gallon buckets and go pour it into his tank that his horses drink out of. I don't know if he has automatic feet, water ears or what have you, but get your horses some water and pay attention to them. If you don't believe in it for yourself, try it out on your horses and pay attention to them, observe them.
You know, that's one of the things that I've heard, and from some of the stories that I've heard about this water, with people using it for, you know, their cattle, their horses, their sheep, and, you know, whatever, is that it's really saved them a lot of money in care, as far as like having the horses get sick, having the horses or the cattle get any kind of ailments, where, and, you know, because that's one of the things I always tell people is that Kong doesn't cost, Kong pays. I mean, yeah. I've used this water to that kitty that was just up on my desk here, getting herself in on the show a little bit. She had a big old gash from getting in a fight with the neighborhood cat. She had a big old gash right here between her eyes, and it was a big old lump and getting all infected, and it stunk. And what we did is we just every twice a day we would soak it in the 2.5 water. And literally the first day that we did that, we did it the morning and then at night, and by the next morning that smell was gone. And then we just did it every morning and every night for like 3 days, and that thing closed right up, and it was no problem. And most, you know, back in the past, that whole deal would have been a trip to the veterinarian and a $500 to $1,000 price tag.
Exactly.
And, you know, and that was, I did that with both of our cats. With both of our cats ended up in fights and ended up with big old abscesses on them, and we used 2.5 water to get rid of both of them. And so it saved us a bunch of money. And I was just kind of curious whether you've had any of that kind of stuff happen, where you've been able to just utilize, you know, of course with the eye, that's a great story. And but I'm always just curious to know how that kind of thing, how it works out for people that are utilizing it with what they do. And, you know, when you were talking about giving it to your horses and that immediately made me think of Todd, because anytime I see a horse, I think of him, you know?
Right. Yeah. Our dog, I mean, our dogs absolutely love it, man. And the minute I pour a fresh bowl of 9-0 for them, I mean, they're just right there slurping up like crazy. And, you know, our dogs are fairly young, but they're super fit and, you know, all they experience is health, you know, and you don't see that, you know, I've experienced my whole life. Dogs get sick from time to time. You got to take them to the vet from time to time. We don't take our dogs to the vet, you know, and we have a vet at our disposal. Alexis's sister is a vet, and she never has to doctor them up because they have the beautiful environment that is Kangen water. It's awesome. And we wouldn't dream of letting them drink a drop of anything else.
Yeah, I love it, man. I appreciate you coming here today, Silbs. This is a you know, kind of a unique episode than what our episodes are usually about. Usually our episodes are just focused towards Kangen water, towards how people go about introducing people to it and that kind of stuff. And this has been kind of a really unique and special episode because you've been talking about a lot of mindset and that kind of stuff. And people need to understand how important that is. You know, you were mentioning a little bit earlier how, you know, so many people don't think, and they just do what the Joneses do. They just do what the crowd does. They do what the TV tells them to do and that kind of stuff. And you know, one thing good about that for us is that as time goes by, like Dan Edlund says, that 10 years from now, everybody's going to know about this technology and we're going to just become order takers because all of our, you know, dripping that we've been doing over all these years, people are going to, you know, oh, the Joneses got that and the Browns got one. And oh, geez, he's got, man, I better go get one. Hey, Jay, you know, I need one. You know, my neighbor got one and my other neighbor, you know, and that kind of thing. And so it's probably going to be a benefit for us in the long run as
absolutely
people get.
We have the Rolls Royce of water machines. There, like you said, there's no competition, man. There's zero. There's only creation and you know, we're want creators, and hopefully somebody sees this episode today that they're, you know, it'll tip them over. The people who've been thinking about it. Everybody needs us. They need it, and until they can figure out that they truly do need it, you know, we just keep on spreading the good news, spreading the love, and you know, like you said, eventually it's going to be on everybody's counter like a toaster or a microwave is, and just like you, my microwave sits there dormant, man. It is of no use to me. So.
I know. I don't use my microwave. My microwave was my mom's microwave, and you know, it's probably 40 years old, 45 years old, and the only thing I ever use it for is for heating up water to put a glass bottle of syrup in to heat my syrup in. You know, I don't like eating anything that's microwaved. I've learned so much because of being involved with this company. I've learned so much about the body, so much about food, so much about, you know, nutrients and things like that. And, you know, it's just been an incredible blessing. And it's just such an incredible blessing getting to meet people like you, getting to talk to you, pick your brain a little bit, get some good advice and, you know, some things to think about. You know, we need that. We need to think differently. And I've got this shirt that says think while it's still legal.
Yeah, exactly. 1984 reference there, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And
can't say that twice. Yeah.
The FedEx guy, I love it. Right on, man. Yeah, dude, it's an absolute pleasure, and you know, keep doing what you're doing, man. You're doing God's work. That's a fact. So yeah, as long as you keep on believing, and you know, the everything is gonna. You think prosperity, you think health, you think wealth, you think happiness. That's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get what you think about, and the answers are in the mirror. You said it. So,
amen, brother. Yeah, buddy. Thank you so much. Give Alexis a big hug for me, and look forward. Hopefully, get to see you guys down in Vegas. Are you going to go to the big hoo-ha in September?
Probably. Yeah. We've been talking about getting to Vegas here. We haven't had a Vegas fix for quite some time, so you know it's always good to be able to kill two birds, as they say. So yeah, we'll definitely put that on our calendar for sure. Be nice to see everybody.
Keep in mind too, if you ever get down here into Salt Lake, if for some reason you need to take a trip down to Salt Lake and you need to, you know, you need a place to stay for the night, we've got an extra bedroom, an extra bathroom, and you guys ever need to shack up for the night or something like that, so you don't have to drive home late at night or whatever, we'd love to have you. Love to meet. Love to get a chance to give you a real hug and you know, shoot the breeze, have some food, whatever, and you know, just it would be awesome to. I love having a spare bedroom and a spare bathroom, so that when friends come through town, that I got a place for them. You know, it's pretty nice.
A little bit of Kangen water, yeah.
Yeah, I got Kangen water. You bet your butt I do. And
yeah, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome. And
I don't go anywhere without my Kong, baby. We're going to Hawaii here in 4 days, and we're taking our machine with us. We're taking our SD501 with us. We have an SD501 and a K8 now, but we use our SD501 as a loaner machine, and we take it with us when we travel. I never go anywhere without my machine.
That's awesome.
It's like the same here. Trip to Mesquite or something like that, I take my machine with me and hook it up in the bathroom there. And, you know, so it's like
we've had our machine hooked up at a few hotel bathrooms as well. So yeah, man, it's like I said earlier, you miss a couple days of the water and you feel like you're like going to keel over.
You notice this right away, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All the time, man. This past fall, I had to go without it for like 3-4 days, and the water source in the community we were in was just super subpar, and we didn't frankly want to hook our machine up to it. And yeah, we felt it right away. We had to go find a water source and hook it up and get some gallons poured. It's everything. It's absolutely everything. And JJ, I appreciate the invite, and also we have these two major freeways, I-25 and I-80, going north and south and east and west. You're ever in our neck of the woods, come out to the ranch, man. We'll saddle one up for you and you can hop on.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to come up and see your place. I used to do a lot of time in Kemmer doing the fossil hunting thing.
Okay.
We're not in that anymore, and so don't get up into Wyoming as much as we used to. But yeah, I love that country up there. I love that state, and I think you're in a great place. And so would definitely love to come and see you one of these times when we're up in that area. Definitely good to know you're up there. And so yeah, buddy, thank you so much for being here with us today. You know, we are the Kong family. We're here to change the world. We are changing the world. We're doing it one glass of hydrogen-rich, oxygen-saturated, incredibly hydrating Kangen water, 9.5 at a time. One lightning bolt in the box, one informative guest, one awesome show, one amazing family at a time. And so get out there, kids, change the world, starting with your own. And as usual, do not forget your hugs, kids.
Kiss yourself.
Right on, Silbs. Love you, buddy.
Love you, brother.
And have a great weekend. And we'll see you again soon.
Sounds great.
Great work.
Thanks for having me, man.
Bye for now, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you, Rodgar. Love you, buddy.
I love you too.